They said it couldn't be done. Welcome to the world of production. Autery Weeks Studio.
This is Autery Weeks Radio. Lock it in. Lock it in.
Welcome to the Inside Stories.
My name is Darnell Hospedales, but they call me Mr. H for short, because Hospedales is just a name that people don't always grasp the way they should, but it's cool. H is grown on me, so I'm used to it. My title here is Media Education Coordinator. So what I do is I put programs together dealing with the media and technology to teach not just the youth, but anyone in the community that wants to come in who is a rec center member.
My name is Autery Weeks. Autery Weeks Production, AuteryWeeks.com. That's AuteryWeekes.com. Basically, I contribute to my community, dealing with media. But what I really fine-tune into is audio production for audio contents, podcasts, recording instrumental tracks, song designing, vocal editing, etc., etc.
Yes, my name is Rasheed Abdulwahhad. Generally speaking, I'm an artist. Before Prince took the name The Artist, that's what I, as Autery knows, right. That's what I used to be referred to and referred myself until Prince took that title, and I just moved away from it and say that I am a person, a human being that is into the development of other human beings.
So, Mr. H,
Talk to me.
Today's episode
is the recording studio at St. John's Recreation Center.
Correct.
Could you elaborate on how do someone, could you tell me when they designed the studio? When did they actually establish
This studio, from my knowledge now, I've only been at St. John's. This year is my first year working here.
Okay.
I originally started in LES. From my knowledge, from what I've been told, this studio has been here for maybe 3-4 years, which blew my mind because being an artist and doing music, I was always looking for a place to record.
Right.
Never knew that this existed.
You got it.
I never did. And it was through, I feel like the marketing was horrible. They did get an article in the news, which
right.
was, I think it was in New York, or something like that. And they did it, when a friend of mine named Bruce Hansley used to run the room. And he was doing it before I came.
Okay.
Yeah, Bruce is great with that, you know what I mean? Shout out to him.
Right.
After that article is when I got light, when he sent me a copy showing, hey, look, they did an article on us.
Right.
And I got to see, I was like, oh, you really have a studio? Because, people say, oh, you got a studio, and you're like, okay, cool. And you go over and it's, the microphone, it's the setup.
Yeah.
But the look, the environment is not quite a studio.
Right.
It's a home-based studio, which is nothing wrong with that. For any of our creators out there that's listening and they're like, hey, but that's what I got. It's nothing wrong with that for creativity.
Right.
It's just that when you're in a professional setting and it creates a certain ambiance.
Right.
So it makes you look at your work differently also. Right. And a lot of people don't realize that's why they go to these fancy exclusive studios, because it creates a feel and it gives you that momentum that, you know what, I need to push harder.
Right.
Okay. So this has been here for maybe the last 2-3 years. And once I got here and I realized what they had, I was like, oh, this is amazing. Like, we have a full sound booth. You have a control room. We're running off, since I've been here now, it's 3 different DAWs. What a DAW is a digital audio workstation, which is almost any program that does recording. From your Logic to your Cubases to your Pro Tools to GarageBand. These are all DAWs. So here we give you the opportunity to learn about DAWs, how to work a DAW, and then how to produce using a DAW. Okay. And I was fortunate enough to get us Cubase here, which I feel Cubase is right underneath Pro Tools to me, because it's simplicity to be used And once you learn it, learning any other program becomes like this. Because they all work pretty much the same. You know, once you learn about one, you can function in another one. So you come here, we give 3 nights a week, we allow people to get an hour to come in and just record. If you don't want to take the class, you let us know what nights within those 3 nights that you're going to come in, and you can come in here and actually record your stuff. And all you need is a rec center membership. And a rec center membership is way more inexpensive than what you're going to pay going to a bigger studio dealing with someone outside of the parks. So I think this was a great opportunity. I really feel like it should have been promoted more, but that's above my pay grade. And
so what about the dollar? What you said I think was so important, and try to isolate on this when you said a profound point. It is cheaper to come to St. John's or a place like St. John's, but since we're talking about St. John's,
correct,
to record than to go out into the world where you pay $200 an hour or $50 an hour, and
right.
You know you're not going to be there for no hour, as opposed to the yearly fee.
Correct.
For the center, which is the yearly fee?
The yearly fee for it is based on age.
Yes.
Yes. So if you're like seniors get a discount. So the senior is $25 a year. Just like anyone that's from the ages of, like the young adults get it the hardest, but everyone else pretty much saves money. Kids are free. So up to 17, if I'm correct, 17 is free.
Oh,
so
awesome.
So you have the youth that can come here and get a rec center card for free, which means during the rec hours, your kid could be here making music. Like I give classes to the youth where they come in, they learn how to record. I throw them over there in that booth, and they're making songs. Like I can give you some examples of some music we've done here that's amazing. And it's like, these are the youth coming in here, and it's an outlet for them. And they do it together in a conglomerate, and that's for free. You didn't pay anything. And then you have the ones where for a year you might pay $150. But see, people got to look at that price. I'm paying $150 for a year. I'm getting studio time. You can use any rec center. That $150 is for pool. I think it's $125 without a pool. But I'd rather pay for the pool because I can use any pool at any rec center. I can use the weight room if I come to work out. I might come here and just need to print my resume. I don't even need to, I don't have to print her at home. I can come in here, print a couple copies of my resume, and head on out to an interview. So it's like all these things come with it. So you're not just getting the studio time. If you're going to be an artist, you can develop yourself completely. You can come work out, get yourself physically ready, because it is physical attributes to being an artist. You're going on tour. You might lose sleep. So now your body has to be fit for these things. So now we have departments in here that help you do your cardio, where you get your workout in. We have classes for these things. So for anything that you're into, it's here already. Swimming helps you with your breath. You might want to get better at swimming to work on your breathing towards your music craft.
Right.
So it's so many things that you get with that membership. So to me, it's way more worth it than if I was just going to a studio and I give this guy $150 of my money and we're only doing about 3-4 hours. See, guess what? I paid that $150 for a year. For the rest of the year, I can continue to come here and make music. And now every time I come, it could be 1 month where I didn't get a check, I didn't make any money. But because I paid that year off, I'm coming to record some music. And I might record my next hit. And now I'm making money again. See, this is for people who, our communities are considered low budget. And that's why they put a lot of the centers around communities that were considered low budget. But because it's low budget, we have community centers, you have outreach programs, and they're funded. If they're funded, then that means someone's getting money to give you these stuff. It's there for you. So why not use it? Like, my thing is, we have the opportunity now to give kids who may not be able to get certain things a place where they can go, learn music, learn how to record. We have DJ system in here where they can learn about mixing music. We have all these new DJs coming up. DJing is part of the music business. Like, you're not, an artist will never blow without a DJ. And people don't respect the DJ enough because the DJs break records. Artists make records, DJs break records. So if no one's playing your record, then no one's listening to your record. So you're an at-home artist listening to yourself.
Right.
And it's different if you have a few of your friends that's, involved in that. Okay, that's cool. But you want to get it to the masses.
Right.
And so you learn that art here. So you definitely get a full rounded look at the music world. And that's from DJing to recording. And all that is here at St. John's. And the facility looks amazing. We're running on Mac computers. So you're getting a Mac. I have Pro Tools here. I have Cubase. And I have GarageBand. GarageBand is given to you on almost any Mac machine. As long as you purchase a Mac, it comes with it. It's an in-house program that you'll have. But you can do so much more when you're running it through a MIDI, opposed to you just running it directly on your computer.
Right. Just to add to what you were saying, for the senior citizen, $25 a year. Also, if you have some type of disability,
Correct.
to prove the disability, you also get that benefit. So this means that because you can't see, can't speak, you can't hear, or maybe you're missing a limb, no disrespect, you still could come and be creative. And at the end of the day, you become independent, you can produce your own album. The point is, you could even be a podcast. Once you have these digital contents, and I'm calling it digital contents, it don't deteriorate. So 20, 40, 60 decades to the future, it still exists, and you could be making money on that. So that's something for y'all to think about. I want to fine tune into the computer. So y'all running a Mac. What happened to the PC? I know most people, and it is ideology that's been pushed in the business world. Because once Mac or Apple started, they used to donate computers to the schools because that's where it was a marketing scheme, so that the children in school learn on it. That's what they're going to use out in the world, and in return, it created an ideology like this is the better operating system, etc., etc. I personally use PC. I use the Mac also. To me, from the comparison, there's really no difference. However, where the difference comes in is what you was basically brought up learning. So basically, it's based on your behavioral pattern or your rituals, meaning what you practice on using. That's what you're comfortable with. That's what you use. Even when with the Pro Tool, and then you say Cubase is right on the Pro Tool. I personally, and I don't mean no disrespect, I think all of them is on the same level, because at the end of the day, once you're playing something back on your iPhone or on a stereo system or a mono system, you don't care what you made it on, because back in the days there was no Pro Tool, there was none of that. Record is record, and any recording hardware back in the days, and they used to use all the analog boards and still produce good songs. The way I look at it, all digital DAWs is compatible, because I use Reaper, and there's a lot of people that jump in ships from Pro Tool going to Reaper. They even go to Cubase. Some people go to Logic.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to Logic.
Some people, right, but some people go to Studio One Artist. And the reason why most people go to Logic to see, a lot of people, even Fruity Loops, the reason for that is the instrumental portion, the music production part that comes with it, because you get all these samples. Some people even use sample tune, But at the end of the day, this is the way I put it. Whatever works for you, and you're comfortable with it, and you learned it already, just go ahead. But I know when you come to St. John's records, you gotta use the Pro Tool or the Cubase or the GarageBand, because they use the Mac computers. But it would be great that y'all could even introduce a PC computer in here, because most of the students at home, they might have a PC laptop.
Correct.
They don't have the money to get the Mac computer's laptop. But it's just a thought.
Yeah, no, I use PC and I use Mac. I use both.
Well, I just want to, because you're using terms that, and I'm glad I'm here, because there are people that may be listening to the podcast, they in space, because you're talking.
They're like, all right, so, okay.
So,
I got you.
Just break down
I got you.
what was just said in terms of the way your dialogue was going, so that a lay person like myself can understand.
All right. So even yesterday I did a class. I got a A.K.A. digital class, and during the class I teach little things with the kids. So one of the biggest things I wanted to ask the kids, because we have 2 rooms here at St. John's. We have a PC room and a Mac room. So in one room it's all PCs, and in one room it's all Macs. So I had the kids in the Mac room. And I go, so kids, let me ask you a question. How many of you know the difference between a PC and a Mac? And I said, so what's some of the answers? You know what I got? One person said, oh, a Mac computer is like an iPhone, but it's the computer version. So I was like, okay. One person told me it was an iPad. It was like, it's just a big iPad. And I mean, these are kids. We're talking ages from 6 to 11. So I'm listening to them and I'm like, no. What it is, Apple computers are made by Macintosh. Macintosh started Apple. Microsoft deals with PC. So people hear the names, they sound familiar, but it's 2 rival companies. Now, what I do notice about Mac compared to a PC, Mac can, when it deals with creativity, it can handle a workload heavier without a crash. Macs do not crash as much as PCs, and I'll give people that. Like, I'm a PC lover myself. Mm-hmm. I went to college for electrical engineer. I learned how to build computers from scratch. I actually had to do that for a year to survive. Build computers and sell them. So that's when I started learning more about the Macs and opening those up to see the comparison. And, you know, the motherboard, everything seemed pretty much the same. But their systems, everything is locked. Like, everything is within a cage. Your dim switches in a cage. Everything is locked. There's security. So that's why if you open up a Mac to fix it, your warranty is dead. And they can tell because it was in a cage and the cage was tampered with.
Right.
So every piece that's in this machine is within a cage within the machine.
Right.
Which is just blew my mind when I started opening these machines.
Right.
But the only real difference is the company who built them and the fact that people use Mac more for creativity just because the workload, the way it handles a workload is slightly different. Other than that, there is no difference. And me personally, I'm more comfortable with PC because I'm a PC user. But when I have to do things like record songs or film editing works way better on a Mac than a PC. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I've been using PC for many years. My TV show was done off of PC, and I've went through about 3 machines because the video card sometimes it just couldn't handle certain processing, or you would have to buy a really expensive one to deal with. You would have to really invest in a high video card. You don't have to invest in such a high video card when you're using a Mac. And the video card itself has a cooler in it, so sometimes you hear an extra fan, you have to actually cool that chip. Macs have found a way to do it where it works, and I can sit here and be on a Mac and edit a whole hour worth of footage with no interference, no lagging, nothing. Compared to if I'm using a PC, I might get a lag or a delay.
That's the workload that you refer to.
Right.
And I'm gonna just jump in a little here.
Yeah.
And no disrespect, I gotta stand up for the PC. And,
go ahead.
At the end of the day, let me clarify this. It's not a PC or a Mac. Because at the end of the day, right, we are so modernized. See, what a lot of people don't understand too, when the PC came out, right, Microsoft, it was for Microsoft Word. You know, you go to school, you type up your documents, etc., right? And the PCs are more open source, meaning you could modify and assemble. So if you don't know anything about computers, I would recommend, yes, go to the Mac, because the Mac was created with creativity in mind, right? That's the whole foundation. That's why some people say it's stable. If you buy a PC and you buy the wrong PC, you might buy an office PC.
Correct.
Which is not a gaming PC or production PC.
Correct.
Because why I say it from Mac to PC, once you remove the software side, which is the Apple compared to the Microsoft, is hardware. All the hardwares are the same, right? Yes, there's cheaper hardware, more expensive hardware, but you could use the same hardware and put it on a PC, right? That's the hardware I'm talking about now, right? Because that's the hardware. So if you get the right components inside there, it levels up. Where the changes comes in is the operating system. And again, if you don't know anything about PC or Microsoft, right, to configure stuff, this is where the problem comes in, right? So if you're not techie, yes, go get the Mac. It works for you, right? Right out of the box, boom, 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 boom. I use both PC and Mac. And that's one of the reasons I had left the PC to go to the Mac, because you go to all schools and everywhere they had the Pro Tool and the Mac, and I was like, cool. However, I had things crashing, and I was like, man, this is supposed to happen, But that was my experience. So now I'm back with the PC, and because, you had to seek out knowledge to grow, right? Get the wisdom and understanding. I comprehend right now on the market, no disrespect to Apple, you could assemble a PC, right, for the same price as the Apple, right? Hey, I think Microsoft and PC, y'all need to sponsor us on this one, man, because we giving y'all marketing here now, right? But at the end of the day, it's not really about that, right? I look at it like, look, where you can save money, you move forward, because at the end of the day, once you could finish the product, no one don't care what you make it on. You see what I'm saying? So that's the other side of the thing. But with the PC now, I have an Alienware laptop. That didn't let me down. Never let me down. I had it since 2016. Right. It's a gaming laptop. You're gonna spend a little money for it. But that's up the same level as the Apple,
Right.
But you gotta modify what you need. More RAM. You see what I'm saying? You need some solid state drives up in there. You might need an i7, etc., etc. And then when you still get the software, you got to configure the software. Some things you wouldn't need it in the software because it's for audio production or media production, meaning video and audio. You see? So your graphic cards, all of that, right? With the PC, there's so many different type of graphic cards out there. So that's what I'm saying. You need to be very, how should I say, competent about, what components and what stuff to get to build a PC or to build any production computer, right? And now they have Linux that exists. You see, and some people use, well, not most, but some people use Linux and they're way comfortable with it. They say they're rather the Linux than the Mac.
Linux been around for a long time.
Right. Well, yes, because it's open source, and again, that goes into the tech world again.
Shit.
If you're not techie, you will have problems going down that route.
Right.
But once you techie, and it's more freedom for you to do what you want. The way I look at it though, whatever works for you, just get the job done. Because at the end of the day, who listening, they don't care if you made it in the basement, in the toilet, in the garage, in the train station.
That's true.
On your iPhone, on an Android phone. Man, the song's good,
Right.
So we can move a little forward. Rasheed,
I just wanted to say, so listening to the two techies, I'm not a techie for those who are listening. What I'm hearing is it depends on the individual's ability to draw from the resources that are out there to produce their particular product.
Correct.
You got it.
You're just, excuse me, that's disrespectful. Your knowledge allows them to open up, because if you don't know,
right,
you got to open up to something.
Right.
So your knowledge opens them up so that their creativity can come out via Mac, for the workload, as you were saying,
right.
And the PC, I guess, the PC is personal computer?
Pretty much.
Okay, so let you know this layman is picking up.
Yeah. No, definitely.
So the personal computer now or the PC, now I'm understanding that would probably be more for a starter up or a beginner, because they can play around.
Yeah,
Mac
you can do
seems
so much with it.
Yeah, Mac seems like classroom almost.
Right.
Like more structured. You got to have certain knowledge, to really get going with the Mac.
Right.
Where at the PC, the personal computer, seems like you can feel your way. And I'm listening to Mr. Autery, and he's saying, because I can put in, I'll call it an adapter. That's my language. It's
right.
It's not computer language, but from the way I'm getting it together, you can adapt the PC.
Right.
to do the things or the function that you need to put out the product that you're trying to put out.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
Let me just add a little to it. Throwing this out there, no disrespect to no one, but just a little clarification. PC or Mac, either one, because they have the entry level, computer. And again, I use the Mac. I personally think, again, if you're not too knowledgeable about computers, using a Mac is much easier. Because what would happen if you get an entry-level PC? Again, that might be for office use. Going to school and just doing your Microsoft document, doing research, right? You want to have the right, the hardware components in there, right? So that you could put in a big production file. Like let's say you have a big project, our project. If we put a big project on a regular PC that's like $400, right? That might be an i3. Right, with 4 gig of RAM. I mean, and you might have a big terabyte hard drive, but it might be a rotary hard drive, not a solid state. You'll be stuck, right? Because it might crash. You might be like, what isn't right? Because again, that computer wasn't made for that. If you're very knowledgeable, you would comprehend. It don't matter if it's a PC or a Mac, because the hardware is the hardware.
Correct.
You would look at the hardware and make sure the hardware is durable. Because you can notice, like, a lot of people, when they record, like in the big studios, they go back to the hardware. You get that real heavy analog sound and the big components, right? And they say, you assemble this component, it could do better than a cheaper, tin pan little stuff you assemble. The point I'm trying to make, once you have the knowledge, you could assemble that hardware, and then it's your choice to use the Mac, Microsoft, or Linux. Because everyone have a different layout. And based on how you're structuring your mind, which way you're comfortable, like some people might be comfortable sitting down, some people might be comfortable standing up and record, right? You do what works for you. So I hope that clarified the whole thing. And, I don't mean no disrespect to nobody. I mean, those industry out there.
It's just like the big argument when people go through, what's better, Android or iPhone? People, like, it's the same thing.
Exactly.
Like, and my argument stays the same. Because I base it off of the one thing I have to completely agree with him on is with an Android, I can upgrade, I can do so much to an Android where there's limitations on the iPhone. Right. The iPhone is only saying you're able to do this. Same thing with the Macs. You're able to do this. With a PC now, you can upgrade as much as you want based on your knowledge and what you know.
And what you're
or who you know, because you might know someone else who can show you how to upgrade it myself. It's really based on the person. So I guess your best way of putting it is a personal computer is for someone's personal growth, and a Mac computer is for a machine, MAC, machine, made for you to already do what you want to do right now.
Right.
So that's the basis way to put that. But that's still digressing from the fact that you can come to St. John's and learn all these things and get more familiar. For people like yourself who you say, well, I'm a novice to this. Well, that's perfect. As a novice, we can show you these things. We can open your eyes to this. And now you have a machine you can practice on, because everything, for us to grow with anything, requires us to do it more often. You have to start practicing repetition. That's the word I wanted to get into. Repetition. You come in here every day and you practice a little bit. We have hours where it's open access. So you can just come in and use the computer during the open access time. You come in your open access time and you're practicing on a Mac or a PC, doing both programs, because we have a room with both. So it's up to you. You can DJ this. Like 1 minute I'm doing PC, next minute I'm doing Mac, but I'm learning everything as a whole.
Right. Question.
Answer.
So, let's say someone on the outside like, man, you're talking some good stuff here. They want to just come to get the knowledge, right? Because at the end of the day, I personally don't believe, I'm Autery Weeks, I don't believe whatever software you use, Pro Tool, Audacity, Adobe, Reaper, it to me don't matter anything. Once you know the press record and you know to edit in between and remove stuff, use a compressor, an equalizer, you see what I'm saying? And a reverb, etc., and filters, you're on your way to greatness. Because at the end of the day, at St. John you might use Pro Tool, but then at your home you might have the only money to get Reaper, Cubase, or entry-level Pro Tool or whatever. You know, the point is, when you come here, St. John, you're going to gain knowledge that you could take with you. Because most of the time, you might end up in a big studio where you don't even have to touch the game. You just be the instructor. And they have an apprentice that's going to be the engineer, and you're telling them what to do. Mr. H, somebody come here, who when they come in downstairs, who do they speak to, how do they get to see you or set up an appointment with you so that they could, embark in this adventure?
Well, as soon as you come in, the welcoming staff are actually, they'll give you a tour of the place. They'll show you the whole building so you can see what else we have to offer here. And you just let them know, well, I'm interested in your audio program. And they'll set you up. They'll send you straight to me. They'll be like, well, you have to speak to Mr. H. They'll either call me downstairs to speak with you, or they'll send you upstairs. I'm located on the second floor. They'll send you upstairs. I also work with a colleague named Miss Sandra. And when Miss Sandra's here, she does different things, working with the videos and things of that nature. If I'm not around, they'll link you with Miss Sandra and she'll contact me. You also they'll give you my email if it's needed. But you have a chance to set up a meeting and speak directly with me. I like to do personal things. I like to know what you're into because everyone comes for different reasons. Just like he says, as a creator, you have different aspects, which means there's different components to build anything. So the issue now is, what would you like to enhance? Right. Some people will come here and say, well, I'm an artist and I want to get better at recording. So I'm like, okay, well, learn first how the recording process goes. And get better at going in the studio, work on your breath, learning how to listen to yourself while you sing, things of that nature. I might have someone else who wants to learn beats. Hey, I just want to make beats. You want to make beats? We have the drum machine here. I actually have an electrical drum set inside. And we link everything into the computer. So now my focus with you would be different. So the first thing I would say is come here. See what we have to offer. Ask to speak with me. I'm here Monday through Friday. I don't do weekends because weekends is family time for me. I spend that time with my kids. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm a family man at the end of the day, and I believe in putting family first.
Right. So since this is an audio podcast, an audio interview, can you give us some dimension of the studio and the live room? So someone that's listening be like, man, they got a big live room.
See, that's the bad part. I don't know the dimensions. I know it's a couple feet for the control room.
Okay, I can do it real quick.
Oh, okay.
With the feet.
So we're in the control room right now, and the dimension was
12 by 15.
12 by 15.
Okay. Did you get a chance to go inside the booth too?
Yes. If you go into the live room, it's
8 by 12.
Right.
Okay.
So.
And this is feet. Because someone here is 8 by 12, they might be like, 8 by 12 inches, that's small.
So you have enough space in the live room to swim, jump up, you can bring a whole choir and then...
That's right, right. And we can really move forward with music.
Yes.
I mean, and closing, what I would like to say, though, is we're giving opportunities for people to grow creatively, with their creativity. You have now a place where you can come and do these things, where it's there. If people who wondered about it, if you're the type to just sit there, YouTube, or daydream, now you can see how you can turn your dream into a fruition and really push it. And that's the opportunity we're trying to give here at St. John's. So please come on down and check the center out. Right. It's worth it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, no problem, bro. Thank you for having me. Thank you for being here.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And we will link back up at another time.
Very good.
We'll continue.
They said it couldn't be done. Welcome to the world of production. Autery Week Studio.